been learning about value investing, finance, just regular investment for a while now, but you don't know where to go next. You're getting confused about the vast amount of information on the internet. You don't want to waste your time on crap information. You want good information and reliable information. In this series of videos on value investing and finance education, you will find those answers to those questions and much more. My name is Jason Rivera. Welcome to Value Investing and Finance Education. Today I'm going to tell you what's going on between the fight between Apple and Google, between Fortnite and WordPress, among others. Before I get to that though, I need to let you know you can get this series as a podcast anywhere in the world for free on all major podcasting platforms: iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Anchor, and more. You can get this as part of the I Love Value Investing podcast anywhere in the world for free. So, since this news of Apple banning Fortnite came out, I think mid last week maybe, my two oldest daughters, my dad, a couple of my teammates, and several other people have asked me what's going on. So today I want to tell you what's going on, at least with the publicly available information, because obviously I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But so years ago, Apple built iTunes, the iTunes platform, and Google has the Google platform, which includes YouTube. They built these platforms, put an enormous amount of money and infrastructure and talent into building them. And now that they're up and running and they have between them probably billions of customers and clients, pretty much captive via cell phones. I have an Android, so I'm captive to Android and Google Play Store. If you have an iPhone, you're captive to iTunes and I don't know, I guess it's iTunes. I don't have an Apple, so I don't know what it's called. You're captive to those platforms. If you want to download an app, if you want to buy an app, if you want to buy something on your phone, depending on how it's set up, you either have to go through Google Pay, Apple Pay, or PayPal or your credit card if those options are available. So they built these platforms up, and now it started with Fortnite. If you don't know what Fortnite is, I'll give you a little bit of background on Fortnite and why this is interesting, to say the least. So, Fortnite is made by Epic Games. A couple months ago, it was estimated to be making about $1 billion per month in revenue from what used to be a tiny games company. Now the company, Epic Games, is a private company, but it's been taking on equity, and I don't know about debt financing, but equity financing, and it's estimated to be at valuations near $17-18 billion. So Fortnite became a huge worldwide success. It's a video game that you play, and you can play it on literally just about any platform in the world, for now at least. All the way up from game consoles, PCs, cell phones, tablets, you name it. At its highest point, again, I don't know what the data is now, but at its highest point, maybe last year, several months ago at the very least, 250 million people per month were playing Fortnite, which is absurdly good. So Epic was making an enormous amount of money. They still are, off of their Fortnite sales, purchases, all that, because the game's free to download. You buy skins and you buy characters and stuff like that in the game. That's how Epic makes their money. So Epic saw the success of their game, saw the success of their own. They have their own gaming platform where they release content and their own games and other publishers' games for free and paid information. They have their own platform. They saw this and are thinking, hey, why do we need Apple to charge 30%? Because that's allegedly what they charge developers, is 30%. So, for example, if somebody buys $10 worth of V-Bucks through iTunes on their phone, 30% of that, or $3, goes to Apple for essentially just having the platform built. Epic doesn't want to pay this anymore. Neither does WordPress, and a bunch of other developers. Fortnite, Epic, and Epic Games, their creator, along with WordPress and a bunch of other developers, are fighting with Google and Apple over these high fees to be on their platforms. Again, Google is alleged to charge at about that same amount, 30%, for every sale made through their Google Play Store, for example. The companies are fighting back. 30% is a huge chunk. So again, $10, every $10 transaction, 30% of 250 million, or is, I don't feel like doing it in my head. But let's say it's 100 million. That's $30 million. 200 million. That's $60 million. So that would be 60. That would be like $75-ish million off of 250, or off of, no, it's actually more than that. That's 250 million players. So it's $1 billion. So that's like $300 million per month going to Apple and or Google, because you can get the Fortnite on the Android platforms as well. For now, again, I said for now, because Epic sued for Apple first, then it sued Google. After Apple and Google kicked Fortnite off their platforms starting today, as of this recording, they are threatening, again, I don't think it will happen, I'll go into this in a second, that they are going to kick off Fortnite creator Epic Games and the Fortnite game off their platforms, because Epic doesn't want to pay these fees, and it sued Apple and Google, and it's trying to get out of these fees. Again, $300 million, potentially as much as per month, going to these Google and Apple, when essentially, I mean, they're doing nothing. They have the platform, yes. They built the platform, yes. They built the infrastructure, and they took the research and development and all that, which again, I'll get into a second. But essentially, just for sitting there, and being on their platforms, they pay them up to $300 million per month, based on past numbers. So Epic obviously doesn't want to pay this because that's a huge chunk of money. And Apple and Google don't want Fortnite to not pay this, because that's a huge part of their profits. Because again, they've already set up the platform. So other than ongoing maintenance and upgrades and development, there's very little cost to the platform now. They've already set it up. So this is a huge profit center for Google and Apple. So there's this huge fight between, again, Apple and Google on kind of one side, and Fortnite and Epic Games, WordPress, and other developers on the other side. This is what's happening and why they're fighting. It's over money, which typically that's what things come back to. But this, again, it's not small money in this case. This is upwards just from Google, or just from Fortnite, $300 million a month. WordPress, their main issue that they're suing, and I don't know if they're suing, but they're fighting with Google and Apple about, is Apple specifically wanted WordPress to put in-app purchases on the WordPress app, and WordPress told them no. Which, I have a WordPress blog. If you have a WordPress blog, there's really no reason to have in-app purchases on the WordPress app. I mean, you literally set up your blog and you write or you create content on your blog. I don't know why they would want that, but WordPress told them no, and Apple wanted it done. So they're fighting with Apple now. So who's right? The initial thought from one of my teammates was that, and this is what people don't understand, and it's not just my teammate or my parents or my kids or anything. This is what most people don't understand, is there's two sides to every story. It's not black and white. So in one sense, Fortnite doesn't want to have to pay this fee to Apple and Google, because it's a huge amount of money that they're essentially giving away to another company for very little support or very little of anything other than just setting the platform up. That's one argument from that side. The other argument from the platform creator side, Apple and Google, is that they've taken literally decades and hundreds of millions, probably billions of dollars to create these platforms. And they have billions of customers because of these platforms. So it's not really about who's right or wrong. I see sides to both arguments. But let's take this to another level. So if you side more with Fortnite and Epic Games and WordPress and these other developers, think of this like you having to pay taxes. This is essentially a tax. They built the platform. Apple and Google, they built the platform. They have the distribution and they have the customers. So think of Apple and Google as a country. For in the United States where I live, for example, the US built the roads and developed the infrastructure for all of us to survive and thrive and to do the American dream, or to create the American dream and all that stuff that America has created over the years. And this goes for any country around the world. But should you still have to pay taxes for something that happened years ago, decades ago, maybe even before you're born, if you're going to get no benefit from it? The other side, if you side with Epic and Fortnite, they don't think they should have to pay these taxes. Again, I'm using taxes here because it's essentially a tax. They're not calling it a tax, but it's essentially a tax. They don't think of them as like an individual person. They create everything on their own. They created Fortnite from scratch and built it on their own engine that they run, their gaming engine, and they don't think they should have to pay this money. Which side? Again, there's no right or wrong. It's more of a philosophical or even maybe a political argument in many cases. It depends on who you side with. But that is what's going on. Essentially, big companies trying to force littler companies who are on their platforms using their stuff to pay them money for every single transaction. Again, similar to a tax. Now, what if, let's say, Fortnite and WordPress say, screw you, Apple, screw you, Google, we'll do our own thing. They can do that. And Epic right now is doing that. I don't know about WordPress. That is brand new as of this morning. Epic is doing that. They've lowered the prices on their products. They've lowered the prices on their stuff. They put out this amazing, from a marketing perspective, video about fighting Apple. It was a play on their 1984 ad, which was just awesome. The Fortnite ad was awesome from a marketing perspective. But who's going to win? Who's going to win? Frankly, I think they'll probably come to some kind of agreement in the middle. Mostly because of the monopolistic practices suit that is coming up against big tech in the United States right now. Apple, Google, Facebook, all these guys. I think there's going to be pressure from the U.S. government to force Apple and Google and Facebook to lower their fees for developers. And in exchange, they won't be broken up, type of thing. That's what I think is likely to happen. Because, getting back to my earlier point, Epic and WordPress can go to these other pages, but where else are you going to get 1 billion customers? Or the opportunity to reach 1 billion customers fast? Again, there's not necessarily a right or wrong in this case. I think they both have merits, honestly, in my opinion. Google and Apple built the platforms. Epic chose to, in Epic's case, Epic and Fortnite, they chose to be on these platforms to gain distribution. Now that they have gained that distribution and they're making enormous amounts of money, they don't want to pay what some would say are exorbitant fees. And I would agree with, 30% for every transaction, that's a lot. To me, just personally, that's a lot to me. Again, $300 million per month. Back if the financial information that came out a few months ago on Fortnite was correct. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but I wanted to explain this today because, again, I've been asked by family members, I've been asked by my teammates, and several other people what's going on. This is what's going on. Apple and Google are fighting with Fortnite, WordPress, and other developers over money, essentially, is what it boils down to. But I hope this helps. I hope you learned something. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think should win? Whose side are you on? I'd love to hear that in the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, love, share, subscribe, and comment, and hit the notification bell because we're releasing new videos all the time. Going to be notified when we release those videos, and releasing new videos all the time. If you're listening on the podcast, like, love, share, subscribe, download. We'd also appreciate a review, because the more reviews, views, and listens we get on our content, the more people we can help. And if you're looking for help to become a world-class value investor fast, to pick stocks and to earn higher investment returns than average investors, make sure to check out the link for our masterclass below this video. And until then, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Talk soon. Bye.